All right.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm Matt,
I'm Mandy.
and this is another episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us again as we dip back into the movies that shaped our childhood. And today, Mandy, what are we talking about?
Other than the giant close-up I just got of our guest's junk, we are talking about the 1986 Ralph Macchio blues classic, Crossroads.
Yeah, not the Britney Spears version. That's the only time I'm going
No.
to say this.
Yes.
Fuck you guys. If you guys are here for the Britney Spears version, you can eat my ass. We're done. There is no such movie. I don't understand how two movies can be the same name. You know what I mean? I
Right.
get it if it's like a remake or a redo or whatever, but yeah, fuck these movies, right? But anyhow, Ralph Macchio,
Yes.
1986,
Yep.
Crossroads, yeah. So we need to tell everybody listening in, if you've never found a reason, which it's going to be a lot of you. I'm going to imagine a lot of you have not seen this movie. Take it upon yourselves to please go find this film. It's available on all the streaming services. You just got to pay for it. Just rent it or buy it, whatever you want to do. But watch the movie and then come back and join us for this conversation so you're not lost. You can follow along. We'll give you a second to go find it and do that. And you're back. All right, great. It was the greatest of all time. And of course, Mandy, we don't like to, just talk to each other about these movies. We got to bring in somebody we've seen before. This is your first time, our guest's first time appearing on what will become the YouTube version of the podcast. So people can finally lay their eyes on Kalamazoo area comedian. What are you now, fifth time guest or something?
Fifth time. Yep.
Mr. Bob Fredericks, Can Cracks.
Oh, see, we can't have can cracks because I have a keg.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tap that.
I did it for you. This
Nice.
is still Diet Coke until I pour whiskey into it.
Well, welcome back, Bob. We're so happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. I'm glad to be here. So we weren't supposed to watch the Britney Spears version.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah, Mandy, you pulled fun facts for both just in case, right?
Yeah, no.
I feel like the same facts would work for either movie, really.
Yeah, no, there is no fun facts about the Britney Spears Crossroads.
Was it before or after she tattooed the back of her head with the lips? Or
This is way before.
Pre-meltdown. Yeah. I feel like we should come back at a later time and also do the Britney Spears Crossroads.
For sure. The Crossroads crossover episode. Yeah.
Yeah. I misunderstood the directions and I just listened to Crossroads by Bone Thugs for an hour and a half.
I just listened to Eric Clapton's
Oh yeah,
the Crossroads.
All right. You guys, I had a fucking question. Whose childhood did this shape?
This was me all the way, man.
Oh, it was you? Well, I never fucking knew that you were a blues man.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
I'm a blues man.
Shit, I should have.
Shut up, chicken ass.
You should have brought your harmonica. You could have played harmonica for us.
Harmonica. Yeah, normally, let's start where we normally start here, Bob. We always ask the guest, how long had it been since you watched this movie? Okay, you just got up and left.
Oh,
that's why.
Why is it so strange?
You forget you're on video here. That's the reason that you need to go and find this on YouTube, guys. If you're listening in, and this just sounds like pure madness.
Yeah, that's why we were laughing so hard in the beginning.
Just
because he just stood up, and I just saw a whole lot of wiener practically in my face.
There's no wiener. Like. They're shorts made out of.
You're right. That was the problem with this movie. There was no wiener.
That's true.
There's no.
But anyhow, Bob, how long had it been since you watched this before we made you watch it for the podcast?
Matthew, I have never seen this movie.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Mandy, how about you?
Same, but I do have to say I have watched it 3 times and I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. I wish I had watched it as a kid. I can't believe I've said this to multiple people now. I'm like, I can't believe I didn't watch this as a kid. This is like right up my alley.
Right. Yeah, and it's not like super obscure. I mean, it's not like there's no reason someone shouldn't have seen this movie. It's not Like,
Yeah, the cast is pretty impressive.
Huge at the time. I mean, this was This was post Karate Kid 2, right? Like, this is right after. I mean, this is like Macchio heyday right now.
I think it was the same year as Karate Kid 2 was the only snippet of information I accidentally picked up, because I was looking at Ralph Macchio's IMDb while I was trying to think of things I could talk about this, just like things to say, and it's just like a bunch of Karate Kid movies. Like, I was trying to actually figure out if he had any movies that didn't center around cultural appropriation.
Right, yeah. Yeah, taking away music.
It's funny because this has Jamie Gertz in it, who was also in Lost Boys, and we did Lost Boys together. Remember, she played Star, and that was actually a year later. So this is actually
that was
pre Lost Boys, huh?
She was the hitchhiker girl.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She played Frances.
Yeah.
Beautiful. She's so beautiful.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's start then at. I mean, we've had you on a couple of times before, Bob. I don't remember. Have we ever asked you the question, if you were given the reins to like pick your own movie that shaped your childhood, what would you pick?
I don't think we have. I think if I had to answer that, it would probably be. I don't know. I can't put my finger on one, but maybe like Jurassic Park was like one of the first movies that was mine that I owned. Like on my third or fourth birthday when that came out, my uncle bought it for me because that was like a good gift for a 3-year-old apparently.
Sure.
It's like, oh, it has dinosaurs. It's like, it's fucking terrifying, but
yes. Do you like, I still like to this day have nightmares about dinosaurs. Like, I did a lot as a kid after that movie, but like today still. Yeah. Like, we'll be like hiding from them, like dinosaurs and tornadoes from the movie Twister.
Okay.
Like, those are my two. Did you have nightmares about dinosaurs when you were little?
I don't think it like scared me that much. I think the worst part for me, which I also thought was funny, was when Newman like falls down the side and gets like his acid spit in his face. Like,
yeah,
I think that was the part, like that part and the Velociraptor part, like always scared me. But like before he died at the beginning, like I always just thought it was hilarious that he was like the fat guy falling down the side of the hill.
Well, and they make like there's like a sound effect. It's like when he falls.
Like super ridiculous. Like, I don't think I ever really understood like the whole concept of that movie when I was watching it though, because it's like, oh, he's got like a shaving cream can full of like this stuff, and it's cool because it's like
it's like dino jizz in a bottle. It's great.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was just like fucking cum.
Yeah.
No, you have to say it like the voice in the video. Dino jizz.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask about, what the hell was I going to ask about? Oh, are you guys at all familiar? Were you prior to this movie, like the story of Robert Johnson, like selling his soul to the devil, all that stuff? I mean, it's kind of like folklore stuff. Had any of you guys heard of that prior?
A little bit. I didn't realize that's what it was going to be about, but it made sense. I just couldn't place it basically. Okay. So
because I know we had done
when we did Oh Brother Where Art Thou,
it's pretty much it's a pretty linear sort of, like, it's exactly the same story except kind of a different guy. But so basically what happens in this film, a man goes to the Crossroads and he tries it's Mississippi, right, where he does it, and then he sells his soul to the devil to learn how to play the guitar really well, and then he tells his friend Willie Brown to go do the same thing. So that happens. Robert Johnson becomes like a very famous and I guess sought after blues musician, like one of the first to be like a very noteworthy blues musician in the United States. And then apparently he was supposed to have recorded this 30-track album of like the most amazing blues songs of all time, and we only got 29 tracks. So Ralph Macchio, who is now a child prodigy at the guitar and goes to Juilliard. Eugene Martone, Lightning Boy, a.k.a.
Lightning Boy Mar,
tries to go find this lost song. So this whole thing is this travel down to the South with an aged African-American harmonica player to find a lost blues song, right?
He's got to get some mileage.
It's true. It's true. So I guess first impressions, I suppose, Bob, what did you think overall for this movie? Huh?
I mean, I wanted to hate it at first, just like because like going into it, it's like, oh, it's fucking Ralph Macchio, but
Now we've done My Cousin Vinny was one of my very favorite episodes, and that movie is still tremendous. So I can't really wrong Ralph Macchio too much. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the Karate Kid movies, but
but I mean, even the Karate Kid movies, like they made 3 of them for a reason. Like they're all right. I mean, I feel like in the 80s, though, there's like a certain quality with like even the cheesy like first-rate movies where it kind of shined through to the end. Like there was thought put behind it, but I mean, I didn't really expect it to be something that I enjoyed. There's certain parts of it that I didn't really care for, but I mean, I enjoyed it as a movie. It was an enjoyable watch. But I wanted it to be so much worse.
Nice. Yeah. It is always better to shit on a movie, like especially so like last time or one of the times you were on, we did Lost Boys, and it was basically me just like trying to tear this movie apart, right? And it's it's so much more fun to like poke holes in like terrible nonsense.
Yeah, Mandy was like, "You're taking a dump on my things
childhood.
I love."
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he literally chose like the worst fucking clips ever.
Well, I mean, if when you're given that as a palette, you can really only paint.
Shut up.
You can't paint the Mona Lisa with.
Honestly, I think that I think this movie would have been total crap without John Seneca in it, the guy that plays Willie Brown. Mm-hmm. Everything that he says in the way that he acts is so like it just brings the story together. Ralph Macchio doesn't do much other than the fact that he is an amazing fake guitar player.
For sure, like, yeah. I was pretty impressed by that. Yeah, especially now after because like now I play the guitar, or not well, but I know enough to realize that he's not really doing it.
He's a blues man.
But he's pretty close. Yeah.
And actually, when he plays the music, Steve Vai, which I thought the whole time, Vai. Yep. Well, I thought the I was a J because I don't have my glasses on. And I was like, oh, this poor man's last name is Vag.
Dude, but I mean, if you heard him play the guitar, that's all he had to swim through was just pure Vag.
It's just if you don't play the harp, you don't get any pussy, right?
Where I come from.
But his fingering and his slides, Ralph Macchio's fingering, which is weird because that's probably the first time I've said that on this.
You see the way that 17-year-old's fingering over there?
Yeah, I don't know that anyone's ever said Ralph Macchio's fingering style, but
but they're completely precise, like almost all the way through the battle at the end. There's only like a couple parts where he doesn't do it correctly, and so he does a good job.
There's like one scene though, like I think it's when they're in the bar, like after he gets kicked out, where he's just sitting there going, it's like that's obviously not close at all.
Well, and he just has like a dumb look on his face when they're in the bar.
Hold on.
And like I don't know.
Man, I ain't made no mess.
Hey, Willie.
That's my name.
I heard you playing harp, so I dropped by to say hello.
You're new here, ain't you?
My first day.
Well, hello, Mr. Janitor Man. Now let
Mr. Janitor Man.
I heard you playing harp.
To know if there's anything I can get for you, anything you want, or anything else.
Yeah.
I love how he because he's like playing harp and stuff. He's trying to use like vernacular, trying to get like as cool as possible. He's like, trust me, I know who you are.
Ralph Macchio, #1 appropriation.
Yeah. 1939 to 1968.
But he does. I mean, at least they bring that up in the movie. The same thing that Clapton did and the Rolling Stones did.
Blind Dog Fulton was born Willie Brown.
Hold on. There's the only reason I'm playing this is for the clip at the line at the end.
He headed up to Chicago, changed it to Blind Dog Fulton. It's all in the books.
I got 6 cousins named Willie Brown. Man working at grocery store down the street, his name Willie Brown.
It's like a James Brown Jr.
If I had
joke.
a nickel for every Willie Brown in this world, I wouldn't be here now listening to your bullshit.
You're not the Willie Brown Robert Johnson calls out for help too in Crossroads.
I love this line.
Shit, no, Robert Johnson.
Great delivery. I love this guy.
Play harmonica. That's the real Willie Brown's main instrument. It doesn't make sense.
Where I come from, you don't blow no harp. You don't get no pussy.
It's true. It's true.
Oh my gosh. He is just amazing. Like everything that he says, everything he does, like he is the serious role and he is the likable character for the most part. I mean, Ralph Macchio,
he's a total dickhead though. He is a skate artist, a con man the whole time. Yeah.
He's a real piece of work. He's got that mileage.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, he's like fighting the hellhounds, like in his mind.
He's desperate. You know? Yeah. He's doing whatever he can to fix his problem. And
honestly, like he lived to be an old man. In my supernatural knowledge. Like you get famous and then you die early. Like that's
Right.
how it works. You know, the devil let him live a long ass time. So. Also, since we talked about Steve Vag.
Yeah, for sure.
Steve Vai, he plays.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said that wrong. It's actually Stephen Vag. Sorry.
With a P.
Yeah.
Right.
Stefan.
He is Jack Butler at the end. So he is the actual like the guy that's playing the guitar that he fights. He's doing both. He plays both parts.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's kind of cool because I just figured they just slapped some hair on somebody and like they pretended to play guitar. Yeah. But no, that's actually him.
He looked like a Vag for sure.
So I was going to ask you guys. So you get to go down. You get to go down to the Crossroads, right? You're down there, and you get to sell your soul to the devil to learn how to do something like the best. What do you sell your soul for? And then this has no connotations as far as like religious based. I'm just talking like what would you want to be the best at? Like if you were given the option, what would you want to be the best at?
I don't know.
Silence? Awesome. You guys win.
No, I would have to say it'd have to be something. I don't want fame. Like I wouldn't want to be famous.
Okay.
But I would like to be rich and comfortable. So like the best at something that like.
So just like a sweet
like
couch
coding,
and a bunch of money.
Like
not that kind of comfortable
technology. Something that I could have.
You could have totally chosen something easy, like being the best like Instagram influencer or something like that. Like
no,
you're like I got to work for it still.
No, I do not want that. No.
I'd probably waste it on like just trying to be the best at making sandwiches. I mean,
sold my soul to the devil.
I'm pretty good at that already, obviously.
Subway has a college. Like you
You call yourself an artist? I feel like I would probably try and choose something like an artistic thing that like I wasn't already good at, like playing guitar, like painting or something, like something cool. Because being decent at comedy doesn't really pay off very well.
Yeah, like a writer. I would like to be like a nice, like a novelist or something where I can just like type at home and like sell my books.
Yeah, but then you have to kill yourself, and that's the tough part.
I'd have to drink myself to death. I'm already doing that.
Stuff some rocks in your pocket and wade into a river.
Emily Dickinson style or whatever. I don't know who that was.
What about you, Matt? What would you do?
Oh God, I didn't plan on this being turned around on me. I don't know.
What would you do?
I don't know. Yeah, something fun. It'd be like the best at whatever I was in order to monetize it. It would all be for money. Whatever I could do.
Oh my God.
Money.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I just saw like a giant bottle come up into the screen. And the people that are just listening on the podcast, like we aren't usually like we're usually at a table.
It'll just be a few minutes later.
You guys don't normally watch me this much when we're in the same room together.
Well, you're not in the comfort of your own home, so you're not like you just reminded me of Tommy Boy when he squirts the ketchup in his mouth and like eats a french fry. You like took a drink of Coke and then you took a huge swig of liquor.
You never like taking a plastic cap and just throwing it somewhere and have to drink out of the bottle?
And to be fair, normally he doesn't have as much time to take as many drinks because he's eating cookies the whole episode.
I mean, I got Oreos upstairs. They're thin, but I can eat into this microphone.
Yeah, I have saved so much on just not giving out podcast cookies during all this.
I mean, honestly, that's like very nice of you that you do that, but I'm just like, damn, that's a lot of effort. Like, I don't think I'd ever be that good to my
Matt doesn't do anything.
Not at all.
His
I don't do any of it.
Oh, your wife does.
Yeah. It's my wife and daughter make the podcast cookies.
Well, that's
we still make them. We're just stocking them up. There's just piles.
I need a care package of podcast cookies at the first comedy show we do after this shit.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you next year.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a thing. We should be talking more about this movie, but I do have that question. So let's say they open up the state of Michigan and they have a comedy show tomorrow, and they want Bob Fredericks to headline that show. What do you do?
I mean, it would depend. Like if it's a shitty show that no one's gonna show up to, I'm gonna say no. Like,
well, okay, so it's blind. It's just a dollar amount. What's the dollar amount that you would need to go and headline a show tomorrow?
I mean, like
whether or not people showed up or not, it's up.
Fucking, if they're gonna pay me like a couple $100, like I'd probably go do it. Like,
you'd be down
if it's like, I mean, it depends on how far I have to drive though too. Like if it's in town and they'd pay me like $100 or more, like I'd probably go do it.
Would you worry about the Rona?
I mean, not as long as no one's coughing in my face.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I figured. I would just like, if I felt compelled to wear a mask whenever comedy does open back up, then I just take it off, go up, do the thing, get the hell out of there, and cash the check.
Yeah, I wouldn't fucking hang out. Yeah, like I would maybe hang out. Like if there's space to like be not in the same room as everyone else, and like people aren't sneezing all over the place. I mean,
right. Do you think the first comic's going to be that's going to start selling masks for their merch?
I don't know. Fucking, you know who it is. It's probably
N95s out in the
fucking Steve Sabo, probably.
I've actually never met Steve, so I'll say
Would
that
you
until
like?
He's a nice guy. He's got like so much merch though. He's got like fucking thongs and spaghetti straps and baby onesies and all that shit.
Nice.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
What's his name? God damn it. I'm an idiot. I just blanked on the name.
That's all right.
I'll probably
but you're gonna go to the Crossroads and become the best sandwich maker ever.
All right. I want to go to the Crossroads and I'm gonna sell my soul to like have a mad sick merch setup.
There you go. Yeah, it's just all the sandwiches, but it's all pickup only. Like,
yeah,
there's no dine in.
You can go up and spray the microphone because all the comedians before you that went up probably all have COVID.
If they were worried about catching things from other comedians, we'd have been doing that for years. So
I mean, yeah, honestly, it's like we probably built up our immune system according to all these a
cesspool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's play some clips from this fucking movie.
I was gonna say, my favorite character for sure was Willie Brown. Was there any like I really liked the assistant to Legba or whatever his name was.
Oh, I don't know if you realize this, but he changed his name to Scratch. Actually,
he did. Yes, and he.
For those of you who've not seen the movie, which is most of you, that's a line from he changes his name to Scratch in the movie.
It's Joe Morton. He was on Eureka, but he was also in Terminator. He was the main guy that like takes the arm and creates the Terminator. So
wow.
Yeah. Anyways, I think he's amazing, and when I saw him on here, I was like, holy crap.
That must be what he sold his soul for.
He plays.
I know, right?
Making robots or whatever.
Assistant or Willie Brown.
Not the assistant.
No, he plays the assistant.
Oh, okay. Like the guy in the
right
Corvette at the end.
This guy.
What's your name, boys?
My name Willie Brown, sir.
What you doing on these crossroads alone, Willie Brown?
Robert Johnson told me I can make a deal here.
A deal? With who?
Robert say man called Legba. You hear?
No.
I'm his assistant.
That guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I feel like he's really good looking.
Tell me what's on your mind, Willie Brown.
I got $2.
I got $2.
He takes his fucking money anyways. What an asshole.
What an asshole. All right, yeah. So that's that guy. Let's do.
So yeah, I forgot about that part because I watched this in 2 sittings. Like he pretty much got like the fucking knockoff brand "Sell Your Soul to the Devil" because he did his deal with the assistant.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Whatever. Something happened clearly off camera because they do have a signed contract that we got to see, and you're supposed to go there and like work on it. He was like, "Come back here every Saturday night at midnight, and you'll learn how to play." Like, fuck that. If I'm going to sell my soul to the devil, it better happen like instantaneously. Like, I just want I need like to download it from the Matrix and just be ready to go.
I mean, basically,
like I can fly a helicopter now, you know?
If you practice the harmonica every Saturday night, you're just going to get good on your own.
Right.
So that's like
Have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live skit with Garth Brooks and Will Ferrell?
As
where
the
it's
devil.
The devil trying to fucking give him a hit song.
Yep.
And he's just like doing all these terrible songs from different genres. And then finally it gets awkward and the devil has to leave. He's like, no, I'm good. And then right after it, he's like Garth Brooks like busts out like oh, the devil never could write a love song. Like,
yeah.
It's like, did he help him? Or did that cost him his soul? Like, who knows?
Right. That's how I always
years to find out.
I always thought that about those, what is that, the Clearasil commercials or the whatever, where like you pay money and you wash your face every day with this stuff, but it's just, you're just washing your face every day. Like,
yeah,
it's just a reason for you to be like, oh shit, I paid all this money. I better wash my face again.
That
you know, I feel the same way about like after you drink, like you're supposed to be able to take like the chaser or whatever.
Yeah, those pills.
And they're like, you have to take this with a full glass of water. I'm like, motherfucker, it's a full glass of water.
It's like, oh, we're making your dumbass drink water after you drink. Who would have thunk?
You're just paying someone to tell you to do what you're supposed to do.
You should also
problem.
You should also take some Advil with these pills that we're providing, and then also while you're at it, like have a high calorie meal, and then also maybe replenish your glucose levels.
And for lasting results, maybe don't drink as much next time. Like that's it.
Oh. I'm telling you what, like I'm keeping Bud Light and Gatorade in business during quarantine. Yeah.
All right, so you guys go through all the trouble of having a keg at your house. Like you have a kegerator.
Yeah, we have. Well, my husband brews beer, so there's a log.
But you have Bud Light in a keg at your house.
Yes, because my husband.
It's so they don't have to go out as often. They're being conscious.
It's not even that. Shut up! It's not even that.
But Bob, you just said you had a tray full of Oreos upstairs. It's kind of the same thing.
No, what it is
I don't have a fucking keg of Oreos.
It's just the cream.
So I have to go to the store for Oreos like once a year.
Okay. The thing is that we don't want to have the cans because we don't have a garage and they're not taking them back. So we would be like the white trash people, which we already are on our street.
Because you're stacking barrels in your backyard right now.
So this is like an emergency apocalypse keg of Budweiser, or?
Well, it doesn't last that long. It's not that much.
So basically, your house is like a fancy frat party, right?
Yes.
We paid the extra for the Bud Light.
Every day, I feel like I am in a rush party with my daughter because all I want to do is get wasted.
Does she hold your legs while you keg stand?
Yeah, for sure. I hold her legs mostly.
And you don't have to wipe off that leather couch before you sit down. That's the only difference.
Right. In my flooded basement. Usually the frat party it's flooded because the toilets overflow, but this is just rain
and semen.
All right, you guys wanted to talk about favorite characters. I'm going to give you a little shot of mine. Here you go.
Martone, right? When you finish the hall, would you take care of the coffee room? And let's put a clean trash bag in my office. Thank you.
That was not her, right?
Oh, God.
She sucks so bad.
I hated her so much. God, I couldn't stand it. When I was watching this again, so it'd been years since I saw this movie, and I was hoping against hope. I was like, God, I really want this to be good. I can't remember if it's good, but I really want it to be good. It was like one of those Flight of the Navigator scenarios where I was confident that was going to be the greatest, and it turned out to be pure shit. And watching this, and as the movie was happening, it started coming back to me. I'm like, oh, I remember this. I remember this. And that woman started talking, and I'm like, I just had an instant hatred for her when she started talking. And then by the time she gets to the end and she's all, thank you. And I'm like, you fucking bitch. God, I hate you so much. So.
Yeah, but nowadays he's an essential worker, so he's a hero.
Yeah, Willie would have died of COVID before they even got across the state line.
That's true. They wouldn't have had to ask him if he wanted to see anyone because he wouldn't have been able to. Just pure lockdown. No one in, no one out.
That's the other thing too, is like the fact that I didn't realize that he was in like a prison type nursing home.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
It took me a while. So like the second time I watched it, I kind of got it. So then the second time I watched it, I'm like, okay, he said he had a car. So what the hell is he talking about? And then I realized he's talking about his wheelchair.
Yeah.
He's talking about his wheelchair, not an actual car. Right. Because I'm like, why are they going to the bus station if he has a fucking car? And then the second time I watched
if they know I can walk, they're going to take
my car away.
Yeah. So I get that now.
Yeah. Right, we haven't played any of like the music yet, and I just want to play this. Eugene is
arguably the best part of the movie, though, is the sound design.
Yeah. Eugene is a classical guitarist taught, I guess, by at school at Juilliard for classical guitar, and he's like torn between these two worlds of playing blues and classical music. And we get a little taste of Eugene playing classical blues in this clip here from when he's doing his little, I don't know what he's doing, like presenting to his professor here.
Mm-hmm.
Selling out. He's selling out.
Yeah. Like, this was, when I started watching this movie, it was right at the time when I started teaching myself how to play the guitar and also learning how to play the harmonica. And it was like a perfect storm for me.
Oh.
He had to be like, I was making a joke. I hate his professor.
Like, this music like gives me chills. Like, I just love guitar music. It's the greatest of all time. Like, it's just so cool. Like, I love it.
All right, Miss Narciso.
And this guy, Miss Narciso.
Fucking guitar Hitler.
Very good up to a point. Most people
Shots fired.
approach Mozart with respect.
All right. All right, we are let's I guess we got a few minutes until the break here. And did you have a favorite character, Bob, did you say?
I don't know.
Or a favorite part in the movie, I guess? Were you a fan of like the big guitar battle scene or any of that stuff?
I think I liked when him and Willie finally, like, when they played the bar, like, before he got the big dick about it, like,
yeah,
when he's like, but that's like obviously his first time like playing in front of people like who appreciate it like at a party or something, because it's like, I don't know if you remember like the first time you're on stage and had like a really good reaction or something like that, like
right. Yeah, well, it's like the first time you go to like a paid gig outside of town, like you don't know anyone there, and you were brought there to be like, you were brought there to like big dick it and be like the greatest comedian they've ever seen. Like, that's your intentions, right? Like, you want to be that guy, and when it goes well, I mean, I think that's the vibe you get.
Yeah, and I mean something like that though too, like the energy behind it. Like, I've been a part of something like that like fleetingly before I even started doing comedy, and it's like it's way different because just the energy and everything. So I thought that was really cool, just them like coming together and like making music together was really interesting.
Yeah, and we get this this clip here.
Hey, call me Willie. Hey, call me Willie.
And I feel like I have to talk over all of these. We actually got a copyright hit on one of our YouTube videos.
Oh shit! Already?
Yeah, we had to take I had to remove a small segment of it. So.
Do they like at least point out like what it was, or like?
Yeah, they told us. Okay. All right, I get it. We get it. So he sings a song called Willie Brown or whatever.
Built for comfort.
Yeah, not for speed.
I do really like when they pull the gun out on that douchebag of a manager. Like, my God, for one thing, he's racist, and then he tries to have sex with this girl that is like,
he was about to fucking
so young.
He was trying to fucking turn her into a prostitute.
Yeah.
He's gonna let her push ass out of there all night.
Yeah.
So bad.
It was Lloyd.
She wasn't about to leave there anytime soon.
I feel like they should have done way worse to him than what they did.
Yeah.
Right.
You all trying to run off my business? Hey, boy! I'm talking to you.
Hey, relax. We're going.
You're damn right you're going. And you can tell that old mud duck to get his ass off my property.
Hey, if you got no right talking to people like that.
Right?
Where you from, boy?
New York.
Woo-hoo. Well, Mr. New York, I'll tell you what. See, now I'll go in my office and I'll get my .357 Magnum and I'll bring it out here.
Jesus.
And you and I can discuss just who's got the right.
What a pile.
Willie should have pulled his gun right there.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Like, hey, you said you don't have it yet. So
yeah, right.
That is very.
How about I pull out this gun before you get to your office, and then
that part's frustrating, and also when the deputy steals all the money.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the injustice of it, but the fact that he is like Willie sitting in the back of the car, and he's like, "Well, back in my day, they just drive you back in the field and basically lynch you." You know,
for sure.
And you're
that's why he said. He said things seem to have changed because the sheriff was a black man.
Is black,
but they kind of stayed the same because they're kicking him out for. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's just it just. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I don't remember what I was even doing. Yeah,
but it does. I mean, it hits a lot of things, you know. And one of the so to pick apart the movie a little bit, Ralph Macchio still helped an old like convict escape from prison.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So so he saved this guy's soul, but guess what, dude? Like, Eugene, your life is fucked.
They're still on the lam at the end of the show.
Right, yeah, he can't go back home to mom. Like, he's fucked for a while, yeah.
And he's like, let's go to Chicago. I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, you can go to Chicago, but they're still gonna send your ass back. And then they
split ways. Like, I was like depressed that Willie didn't die.
They made an ending where he died, and there's like a sad and a happy, and like the response was better for the happy ending. So happy.
You got to really paint by numbers with these pop culture movies, right?
I'm glad he didn't end up with Francis, though. I'm pretty stoked about that. But
oh, really? I would have liked
that was like him. That was him getting that mileage, though, Mandy. Like
he went through an entire lifetime of blues musician all within a week of.
Hey, he is a prodigy, so I mean, he can really live hard. Like
he was just very advanced for his age.
Yeah, like he's been left by 3 women all at once. Like.
Well, you know, he had 5 wives or 4 wives, and he wore them all out, so he was ready for a new one.
Technically, he slept with a prostitute. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
All right, too far. Okay.
No, it's true story.
Okay, we need to get to our segment that ends our first half here before we get to the break. So,
hey, Bob, guess who does this theme song? I bet you can't guess who it is.
You want to do it live?
Adam Deggy.
All right, here we go.
Chop this, synopsis.
The delay is awful.
Oh my god, the delay is so bad.
Chop this, synopsis.
All right, it is time for us to play Chop This Synopsis. And Bob, you're very familiar with this.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, right. In this little activity that we do with all of our guests, we ask that you take the film, The Crossroads, and you chop down the synopsis. You condense it down to 10 words or less. So describe this film in 10 words or less. You'll have the break to figure it out, so don't panic right now. You can come back after the break and tell us. But basically, we need something that's going to go on like a splash card, something on Netflix to get people to click on it. It can be entirely factual or fuck it, make it up, whatever, but 10 words or less. And then we will get your response to that when we come back after the break. And we will be right back after these messages. Pew, pew.
Hi, this is Bob from Your Welcome Future Self, the podcast. Each week, myself and my co-host Adam come together to become less terrible people one episode at a time. It's a show about creating goals and trying to keep them. I hope you listen in wherever you get your podcasts and join us on our journey of self-improvement and mental health and stability. Or instability, I don't know. But come on and join us.
Chop this synopsis. Chop this synopsis. Chop this.
It needs a beat behind it, I'm telling you.
Well, when I tried to add some fucking production value to it, you're like, no, Bob, I like the shitty one you made in your car with barely any effort.
Yeah, that's it.
I do too.
I'm too talented.
Honestly, like, this gets stuck in people's heads. Like, I have people constantly that listen to this that I'll just walk by and they'll be like, chop this synopsis. Yeah, it's so great.
So right. Tell them every time someone does that, you need to tell them my fucking Instagram or something. Like,
we should. Yeah, we should credit you. You know what? We have YouTube now, so we can have like a little picture of you down in the corner when it's going on. We got to figure out how to do that.
For sure, yeah. We'll just put that little thumbs up, icon right there. We'll connect it to your fans only or whatever.
Oh no, pre-quarantine.
There you go.
Pre-quarantine Bob, because quarantine Bob is scarier.
Why am I scarier?
No, I'm just kidding.
It must be the lighting, Bob.
I'm wearing shorts made out of sweatpants fabric, and you're like, Bob, I can see your junk, and I'm like, no.
I wish you could see my junk.
My junk doesn't work that way.
Your junk doesn't work that way? Even Willie's junk works. So.
I mean, my junk works. Let's not get into this.
Let's not get it.
Well, hold on, Bob. What are you drinking now?
Dragon's milk, because
oh, nice.
Yeah, going too fast on the whiskey was a great idea. So
there you go.
11% dark beer. Let's go.
You gotta pace yourself. Right? All right. Well, done. Once you're done with that rip, then let's get your 10-word or less synopsis of the Crossroads, please.
This one just tastes like whiskey. My chop this synopsis. Do we need like a drum roll or something?
Well, I mean, if we want to add production value, I guess, but.
So 10 words or less.
Here we
go.
The
Karate Kid.
Yeah.
But Mr. Miyagi is a black guy.
Okay.
Yes. That is so true.
There you go.
Like they have the battle at the end, and he fucking crane kicks him with that guitar solo. Like it's the same movie.
Yeah, he tries to sweep his leg with that sweet riff, and then.
If I read that though, I would assume Mr. Miyagi was like Samuel L. Jackson, and he'd be like, "Come on, motherfucker!"
I mean, if you really back Willie into a corner, he'd probably throw out some.
Yeah.
Samuel.
Dude,
yeah. Do you have the clip where he's like, I've been cut by a woman before, or whatever?
Chicken ass.
I have them meeting Francis. Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Move your ass right back out that door, sucker. Come on, get the hell out of here.
She has like a Midwest mom voice.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
sucker.
You won't be the first woman to cut me. Let me tell you, won't be the first woman to ever whip her ass either.
Okay, that's the way you want it. Come on, it's your funeral. Come on, keep going. Come on.
Snatch.
Are you gonna stand there? Or are you gonna carve me out?
Shit.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Or he said, chop.
Well, there's a knife on an old man head. I didn't want to chase him back out in the ring.
This is wax on, wax off right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of wax on, wax off, it's like a sleazy hotel pimp. Like instead of a car, it's a wheelchair. Like it's all the same things.
For sure, yeah.
And you know that she's in Twister. She's the one that she's like, I gotta go, Julia. We've got cows. You know.
Yeah.
She plays the girlfriend, so she must have a southern accent.
Yeah, she's she's Bill Paxton's new lady friend, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you feel bad for her, at the end of Twister when you're like, oh.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for her at the end of this too. I mean, she's going off to basically push ass out of California. She's got a dancing gig. Yeah.
She doesn't have to. She's at the battle. Like, she sees that there's talent. She's the one that decides to go off and go to bigger and better things.
So what you're saying is she should forgo her own dreams just to follow behind Ralph Macchio and
her own dreams of pushing
that ass. Yeah.
Her dreams of being a stripper. Yeah, she should probably put those off. But whatever.
Hey, it's
$100 a night.
She's a dancer.
All right, Matt. So the answer to your question earlier,
yes,
$100 a night.
Sell my soul for $100 a night. What's funny is
$700 a week, baby.
I almost called him Daniel. Ralph Macchio there. Eugene ends up making a deal at the Crossroads anyway. He just makes it with Willie at the end when he's all like, "Let's go to Chicago."
Biggie.
Right. Yeah, and if I were Willie, I would not shake my hand on any more deals. Like,
right, get as far away from those crossroads as possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead.
Did you guys know from the very beginning that they were dealing with supernatural forces though? Like, Robert Johnson couldn't just be like a talented human being. Like,
right. I mean, based on folklore, I was kind of already aware of it when I saw this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw this movie probably when I was like, I don't know, 10, 12, something like that when I saw it for the first time. And I think my dad is the one who was like, you should watch this movie. I think you would really enjoy it. And he kind of told me the preamble to the whole thing,
You shall really enjoy the cinematography and the sound design of this.
All of that, none of this movie, like, it wasn't shot weird. Like, there was, it just was fun to watch. It was a nice, steady paced movie. It didn't lag too many parts, and it just kind of, there were a few parts where the music could have been like, all right, we get it. Like, let's move on now. But, for what it is and for what people are looking for in a movie like this, I think it needed to be in there. And I think it worked out pretty well.
I would have liked to have made Eugene's character a little more likable. Like, or him and Francis, both of them were just kind of like, eh. I mean, but Willie, you're like, yeah, let's save this motherfucker's soul. He's amazing, But
like, he does have to be this like pompous jackass sort of a kid to like to really put him in his place, like to get taught this lesson overall. Because if he was too humble, he would have never progressed and proceeded through this whole process. He'd have been like, oh, I'll get to it eventually. It'll come to me when I'm supposed to get it. But if he wasn't this like overconfident jackass of a kid that was like, this is how I'm going to make my scene or break into the scene with the blues and stuff, and like had the talent and the ability to do it in the first place, then the movie would have been fucking ridiculous anyway. You know what I mean? So
I do have to say the only times that he was super good looking was when he was dripping wet. Like there's something about when his hair gets wet, maybe because like he had these weird like things that stuck out the sides that were like half mullet but not quite mullet.
Are you talking like Macchio in the Rain type?
Yes.
You're talking about
when he was in the rain, I mean like
it was just because he was sad.
Macchio
it was just relatable.
In the rain.
Oh, that sounds like a name of a drink. I'd like a Macchio in the Rain, please.
It's just got cherries in it. It's just filled with maraschino cherries and water. That's it.
Topped with a fortune cookie.
Maraschino cherries and water.
It's just served to you by a white guy in a kimono.
Oh, and he's like, "Oh, you mean a lightning boy? Here you go."
Yeah, but he speaks Ebonics.
Oh shit!
And they throw a birthday candle in the top. Either wax on or wax off.
Oh shit! That is hilarious.
Okay, here's Eugene talking about the song that he's looking for. So this is more part of the plot that we've already mostly discussed. But here we go.
Robert Johnson was supposed to record 30 songs at his Texas sessions. Only 29 exist. He never recorded number 30.
You read that in a book too?
That's right.
This guy's so pissed off about books.
The last man alive to know where the missing song is. That part's not in the book.
Why you want to know about all that kind of stuff?
I'm a blues man.
I'm a blues man. Blues man.
It even sounds lame when he says
I know,
it.
right? That's.
Oh shit! This is rich.
I'm a blues man.
Yeah, it's like what do you do? I'm a comedy man. That's,
yeah,
that's what I do.
Well, it's like
I'm a podcast man.
Yeah, it's like the small guy in the gang. Like I'm in a gang. And everyone's like, sure, yeah.
You're somebody's cousin. Go home.
So I do have a fun fact. The script. There weren't a lot of fun facts for this. I've tried to like mingle them in, but the script was original by John Fusco, which is just a super fun name. And he had, I know, right? He had an interest in blues, and he worked as a blues singer and musician. And his girlfriend worked at a nursing home, and she's like, "Hey, there's this like old black man that plays the harmonica. It'd be really cool if you came to meet him." So he actually went to visit him, and I guess
so he
on
stole
the way,
a black man's story.
And it was Willie Brown.
kind of. Well, on the way, it says, and on the way, he dreamt up a story about what would happen if the player was a legendary blues player, and that's kind of like how he came up with the script. Okay. So that's kind of cool.
He walked in, and he was like, "I'm a blues man. Play harp for
right.
me."
Yeah.
And
play
like
the harp for me, sir.
And probably the black man probably like sucked or whatever, but what? Yeah. And then
just called him a janitor.
Also,
Mr. Janitor Man.
Mr. Janitor Man. Keith Richards was supposed to play the role of Jack Butler.
Okay.
So I'm actually glad that they chose Steve Vai or Vaj, however you want to say it.
The Vaj.
Yeah. And then I heard that the guy who wrote this movie, this was actually written as his master thesis for his film.
It was
school or whatever. Yeah.
It was, yes. And also, I want to give a shout out because I feel like this person got screwed. Arlen Roth, who was the tutor to Ralph Macchio to teach him how to play the guitar.
Okay.
Arlen Roth was part of the whole duel and battle. Steve Vai, Arlen Roth, Ry Cooter. Sorry. And Bill.
Namegasm.
I know, right? Kinningsear.
Cooter.
But they never gave this Arlen Roth person any credit in the movie. So, like, he says, like, hey, you know, like, part of this is me. So, I'm assuming Arlen's a man. It's sexist, but I just assume that. So, the original Willie Brown was a guitar player.
Okay. This was actually based on a person?
Yeah, and yes, the original Willie Brown was a guitar player. He was not a harmonica player.
He didn't
and
play harmonica.
Also Blind Dog Fulton.
Also, when the film opens, Robert Johnson is seen playing and singing, but it's high-pitched soprano voice.
Record before? Well, you just set yourself in front of that microphone and you play your heart out.
That's what I do every time I podcast.
We'll take care of the rest. We got all the machines in back. You just get yourself ready to play, okay, Rob?
You ever record before?
Okay, let's get to it.
Here we go.
Robert Johnson, stand by.
Whiskey.
Rolling.
Yeah, he took a tug. Oh.
Yeah, right. We're also white.
I went to the crossroads, fell down on my knees.
Well, this is actually higher pitched than what he sounds like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because he has a deeper voice, but they had to speed it up in order to fit it on the album, like on the record.
Okay.
So his voice seems high pitched, but then like if you do like a digital remaster of this, his voice is a lot lower.
Huh.
But they speed it up so he sounds like more chipmunky.
Yeah, for sure. So because it had to fit on the size, like the 45 or whatever they were cutting. My daughter was watching the beginning of this with us, and I had to explain to her that that's like how they recorded music back in the day. I was like, you just had to like sing into a can, and then it would like etch your music into this weird flat thing, and then like and it became a song, you know. So that was weird. But yeah, this movie totally inspired me to like try to learn how to play like slide guitar.
Ooh, did you grab your harmonica while we were on break?
I did not. No.
You bastard.
But you have like a best holster for your harmonica.
Right, a bandolero thing of filled with harmonicas. Yeah. No, I went out and bought like a glass bottle bottleneck slide for a guitar to try to learn how to play, and I got like a book on how to play slide guitar and shit, and then I realized like a guitar has to be tuned different to play slide guitar the right way, and I was like, fuck all that, because I was just learning how to play to the guitar to begin with, and I was like, I don't need different tunings and other bullshit. I need to learn how to play a C, you know, or whatever. And so I kind of gave it up after that. But yeah, this movie like really put me toward that as like a goal. I was like, I'm gonna figure this out, and then
and then you're like, oh, I'm white. Okay.
Yeah, I never did.
Whatever. Okay, I would like all of our listeners to know that Matt plays amazing guitar. He actually played guitar while I walked down the aisle. Yeah. So he did. Yeah. So, and he plays an amazing harmonica. I wish that you would have
fun. I know that. Because
you should have played the harmonica when I walked down the aisle.
There you go. That would have been a lot different of a walk down the aisle, I got a feeling. But the same amount of Bud Light, which is weird.
Matt, you need to be a guitar comic now. Yeah. There you.
That's what I've done the whole quarantine. I've just
practiced your
45 minutes of guitar comedy.
Guitarmedy.
Yeah. It's my album name, man. You're not supposed to release that yet. All right. And then here is Eugene talking about stealing blues music from black people.
Hey, you know what song it was Robert Johnson didn't record that day?
Of course I do. I was with Robert when he made it up. Memphis, summer 1936.
Oh, could you let me in on it?
No.
Why not?
Why should I?
Well, you see, I can record it, you know, like Clapton did with Crossroads.
I think it's very arrogant that he was just like, yeah, you should give it to me. Like, yeah.
We can record it together. It doesn't make
yeah, this happened 50 years ago. You didn't give it to anyone else, but you should just give it to me instead.
Yeah, just give it, like, you didn't record it yourself. Like, you could.
He did offer to have him record it with him. He's like, yeah,
that's true.
You got this.
It's my You never fucking thought of this before?
At the time, well, but at the time too, you don't realize that like this old man's in prison. Like he's kind of giving him like an opportunity. But do you guys want to talk about budget?
For show? Yeah,
let's do.
No. Okay, we have a theme song. We have a theme song for the budgets now, and it was provided
it's not really
by the one and only. What?
We have a new one or no?
No, it was just provided by the one and only Mr. Stu McAllister.
You said now as if we haven't had the same.
Well, I don't know if we had a new one.
This movie costs money and we don't know how much it costs money. Let's find out how much.
Yep,
oh my God. I like that one better.
Here's the old one. There it is. Box office theme song.
All right. I do love that.
It had your laugh in the background.
I know. I was just going to say, I do love that he's laughing in the background.
Love it. Okay.
All right. So how much do you guys think it costs to make this movie in 1986? My beer is super foamy, by the way. I'm having a hard time getting this little bit out of the...
Just drink it straight from the pitcher.
You're still not proving to us that you're not just streaming live from a frat house right now. Like,
yeah.
you
I wonder what's happening behind the camera.
Do you live in the Vine neighborhood? Because I feel like that's how the only way kegs get tapped down there.
No, I live in Portage. I just happen to be the trashiest person in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
The trashiest mom on the block.
Yeah. They all drink wine. Like what? They're like whatever. Wake up with a headache tomorrow.
Well, that's why we're friends.
Yeah.
And I'm over here drinking water with a packet
Cheers.
in it, with flavored
Cheers.
water. Yeah. So how much do you think this movie made, Bob? Or how much do you think it cost to make this movie, Bob?
Well, it was a college thesis, so they probably stole the script from that motherfucker. I mean, Macchio was, I think it was earlier in his career, but it was after Karate Kid, I think.
Yeah, it was after a couple of the Karate Kids. So he had a name at that point.
But also, money was worth more in the 80s. So I want to say like $22 million.
Okay, Matt, how much do you think it costs?
I can't imagine why this movie would have cost more than like $10 million to make. So
yeah.
I'm going to give it that.
Okay. Yeah, it cost $2 million.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was going to say that
Yeah,
jokingly. I was going to be like 2 and then be like million. Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
If it cost 10, I was going to be surprised. So yeah, that makes sense.
There were really, like, I only have 3 people for the ages. There weren't a lot of cast members. It was kind of like the same people. So
I mean, and it wasn't, clearly there wasn't a lot of like technical stuff for this movie. There was a couple of like reshoots in black and white when they did like the devil scenes and stuff. But
even those weren't super great.
Right.
All right. In my defense, though, if this movie was made next year, it would be $2 billion.
Yeah,
for sure.
True story.
All this money being injected in
that's assuming people can actually like make new movies because
that's just to pay for all of the testing they have to do each day when someone comes onto the set.
What's your apocalypse name, you guys? Like mine's like Skull Crusher.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna just stick with Lightning Boy. I think that's
Lightning Boy.
Mine's gonna be ass pusher.
Pushing ass.
Pushing ass.
I'm here to tap kegs and push ass. I'm out of kegs.
Bud Light ass pushing ass. Queen.
Ass pusher.
All right. I forgot about the bartender. The bartender's shotgun speech here.
Dude, the bartender's like a fucking everybody's dad. All of a sudden, he's like
Mr. Rogers up in this bitch.
Yeah, but he's
calm down.
He's Harry Carey Jr. and he is in Gremlins. He plays Mr.
Oh my God, he is in. I was like, where do I know this guy from?
Yes, he's Mr. Anderson in Gremlins.
Yes, he is. Holy shit! Is he any relation to Harry Carey, the sportscaster Harry Carey?
No, but his dad was an actor. But it was not same. I was like, this guy's way too old to be Harry Carey's son.
Right? Yeah.
All right, I would like to recast my favorite character in the movie. That guy.
Okay.
What's my favorite?
Hold it just a goddamn minute. There ain't gonna be no more fighting. Harley, Alvin, you settle down.
He's like, he's a dumb bastard, but he needs money.
Like he's just like everyone's dad.
He's dumb.
It's like you kids are dumb too, so you need to leave.
You both got a lot of growing up to do.
And then the last word.
All right, now let's everybody get back to drinking.
He's like, you kids don't understand yet, but you got a lot of growing up to do. Now everybody go back to getting fucked up.
Well, yeah, he wants their money.
And then, drive home later.
That's the thing. He's like the best salesman because he's like, all right, I'm going to tell you what to do, and you're not going to realize that I have complete control over the situation. Don't fight this kid because I'll get less of your money throughout this whole interaction.
Well, he didn't want her to take Harley's wallet because he needed the money to go into the till. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like
he doesn't give a shit about his wife and kids. He just wants to pay for the beers he's buying.
He ordered 2 drinks and he needs to pay for those, so give him his wallet back.
He might be smart enough to keep a $2 bill on hand, thinking it's going to appreciate.
I got $2. All right.
All right. So,
one more.
How much do you? Okay.
Oh, we didn't get there yet. Yeah, go ahead. Let's finish this off first.
How much do you guys think the movie has made? And this is cumulative worldwide gross. I'm assuming as of recently.
Bob's calling his shot. Oh, he went from 3 to 4. So we're gonna say what 3.5? Is that?
I thought he was throwing up gang signs.
Yeah, right.
Hold on. I might.
Oh no! Put your wiener away. Oh, there we go.
You're wearing a blue shirt.
I don't. You're gonna get shot.
Uncle's barbershop.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. Go.
I mean,
go there when it opens.
Quarantine shirt ever. I've worn it for 3 days straight.
Nice.
Video could smell.
I mean, it kind of does, honestly. Looking at this.
I took a shower this
morning.
morning.
At this mess. All right. How much did this movie make? I am going to say that this movie made somewhere in the ballpark of like $4 million. 4 or 5.
$3.5 million.
Okay.
It made $5.8 million.
Hey, all right.
So it doubled and more than doubled. Yeah.
Look at that. We could have had a Crossroads too.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it doubled. That's the rule of thumb. It has to double its cost.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's why we got the Britney Spears version later.
The people that are listening, I have a flooded basement, and I'm sitting in my basement, and I have to uncross my legs because my hips are going out of joint. Oh, love of. Oh, sorry.
That Shakira song, "My Hips Are Going Out of Joint."
Yeah.
I'm 65 and now my hips are gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm 65 and my hips don't work because they're out of joint now.
Oh my gosh! When I finally get up,
drive me to the hospital.
Oh my God, this is horrible.
We're
okay.
The worst. Okay.
So we if you have another clip, but if we want to do ages after that, I have 3 different ages. That's it, because there's not a lot of people in this. So.
Okay, we can do the ages, and I'm just not even going to play the theme song for fear of it getting another tag.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, we're just going to play this game called How Old Are They? Bob,
how old are they?
Want to give us a live theme
Or
song?
what did Koban say, or Kuban say, like, how old they be?
Yeah, something like that. Oh my God, I have to listen to that again. That was funny.
I was looking at you guys' stats, and I was like, that episode is the best episode that you ever did with Deggy and Kuban.
Yeah, like, it's great.
That was one of my favorites. I listened to like almost every single one until like the world ended.
For sure.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Same. Guess what?
Well, it's crazy because I have more time and I've listened to less of the podcasts that I was listening to daily.
Same.
It's crazy.
Are you still working from home and whatnot?
Yeah,
like both of you guys, or?
Well, I have been going in, but I do have to say I quit my job. My last day is in a week, and I'm gonna stay home with my kid because what the fuck? Like, we don't know what to do with her.
Yeah,
uncertain
times. She's supposed to be going to kindergarten in September, but we just got word this weekend that from the superintendent of the school that there is a good chance they're not even going to be starting school. Like they're going to be starting online school. Well, I have to be home to online school my kid. So
sure.
That's so crazy. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that yet.
Right. Yeah.
Well, so kudos to my husband who is working his ass off. He's a welder. And I love you, Mark. Thank you so much for working so hard that I can do this. We were lucky we were saving for some house projects, and those are obviously not going to happen.
Your basement's still flooding, but you can home.
And actually, fixing our basement was like the #1 project, and it was going to cost us like $8,000. And now that we had the money saved, we were like going to do all this stuff. Put an extra bathroom in down here. So yeah, no.
I think you can put your Venmo in the chat at that point.
Yeah.
Please help any way you can.
I know, right? Okay, so sorry, that was just a little thing because that's kind of a big deal in my life.
Yeah, no, that is.
And so now I get to stay home with my kid. I never thought I was going to be a good, like a stay-at-home mom. I never thought I would like it, but I got forced into it. And I got to watch her grow and learn, and that was kind of cool. So yeah, so for the next few months, I could even smoke weed if I wanted to.
You can smoke weed if you want to. You can leave the court system behind.
Yeah, because I can even
coworkers don't smoke. Then there no.
That's the thing too, is I haven't been able to talk about my job at all because I work for the court and So it's just opening a lot of opportunity for me. So in the next couple of weeks, right?
Hit that shit. A lot of kegs.
Hit that shit.
Right? I know I'm gonna catch a case because of this because they're gonna be like,
it's legal now. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I just mean like because I'm taking care of my kid by myself, but it's all good. Okay.
All right,
okay. So we should
take it away.
So I think we found out what Mandy would sell herself to the devil for.
Smoking weed.
Yeah, smoking weed and just staying home.
Responsibility level. All right, I'll sell my soul to the devil to be able to be fucked up all the time. Like I just drop acid.
Okay, I do have to say,
immediately sober.
I honestly have to say I have not smoked weed since I was 19, and I'm super looking forward to it. So that'll be fun. Anyways, so I still have luckily this will come out after my last day of work. I'm pretty sure. So.
How old were they?
How old were they? Thank you for listening to this weirdness, but how old they be? Okay.
Shout out to Cuba.
Yes, we loved him. He was amazing. Ralph Macchio, how old do you think he was? So he was supposed to be 17 in the movie.
I know that I listened to an interview with him on Letterman after he had done all 3 of the Karate Kid movies.
Karate Kids?
And he was supposed to be 16 throughout all of the Karate Kid movies. And he was 30 when he was talking to David Letterman.
So all of those were supposed to happen within a year time.
Yeah. It was like an 8-year span, and it was 3 movies. And
you're still 16, Ralph.
He's like, I kept asking them, please let me graduate or something. Like, let me change my age. And they're like, no,
They're like, no, it's literally only been 2 weeks since the last time he got kicked in the head.
And he looks the same. Like, he looks timeless, I'm sure. So, all right, what do you think, Bob?
Yeah.
How old was Ralph?
They're like, no, dude, you still got to shave. You haven't grown pubes yet.
Right.
So going off that information.
This is 1986.
86, he was 30.
Have you watched the new whatever that is, the new Red Dragon or whatever the hell they call it, the new Karate Kid?
Oh, Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, there you go.
I only know that because I also saw that in the IMDb.
Oh yeah.
So I want to say he must have been like 25 or 26.
Okay. Matt?
Yeah, it's got to be probably in his early 20s. I would like 21, 22, something like that.
Yeah, he was 25.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because he does not look 25.
Yeah, not at all.
How old? Oh, sorry.
Oh, he's got a statutory story made up about him.
When he was on Letter, he was like, my whole family looks younger than they are, and he was the one that looks the most young. And when he was on that clip, I was watching him, he looked like he was maybe 17, 18 years old, and he was a 30-year-old man.
I think they call that the runt of the litter.
Yeah, for sure.
The movie star of the litter.
Yeah.
I am jealous because my husband looks like he's in his early 20s, and he's older than me. And obviously, I've had a rough life, and I drink a lot, and I smoke my vape, whatever. So when Nolan was on our podcast, he met Mark for the first time because we had it in our basement. And Nolan was like, "Oh my God, how old is your husband? You're so lucky, he's so young." I'm like, "Motherfucker, he's like older than I am." He just wears his hat to the side and has his pants hang down like he shouldn't be for a 36-year-old man, but
like,
whatever.
He's like Steve Buscemi on 30 Rock, just like, hey, fellow children.
Young people?
Nolan's like, he's younger than me. Nolan's just like, why can't I find someone like you?
I know. I told Mark, I was like, yeah, I think he's digging you. Jamie Gertz, who plays Frances, how old do you think she was?
How old was Frances?
24.
I'm going to say she was like 17.
Or wait, she was supposed to be 15. She was 22.
21.
Okay.
Which really, I don't think she was supposed to be 15. If she was, then
You think it just made up the statutory story?
Yeah, Eugene was doing a little bit of.
Yeah.
I hope so, because that's just sad. That's a runaway train video going on.
I mean, there was a train happening for sure.
And she's gonna be running a different way afterward.
Right? And okay,
pushing train.
Okay, rips to Joe Seneca. Yeah, he died in 1996, which was just after this movie came out. So, or 10 years after this movie. Sorry.
Yeah, just after. Just after 10 people watched it.
Yeah, right. Sorry, 10 years after this movie. How old do you think he was when he was in this movie? He played Willie.
Oh, Willie Brown.
Willie Brown.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he was 66 years old.
Okay.
I think it's probably more tragic. He was probably like 55.
He was 67.
What?
Oh.
All right.
Which good for you guys, because I thought that he was way older than that. I thought
80?
you would have been wrong. Yeah. I mean, he's supposed to be 80.
Sure.
So.
All right. Is that the last one? That was the.
That's it. There's only three.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Full fun. We did it.
That makes sense. Fuck this movie.
We either have to rush this incredibly fast to get through the rest of this, or we may have to come back after another break. So.
We can rush it.
Figure out what happens. Okay. We're going to play the next game here. It's called What's That Sound? And it's got a theme song, and here it is.
What that sound do?
Time we stop, children, what's that sound?
Yeah, it was What That Sound Do, or something like that.
What's that sound?
All right. Time to play
Willie Brown.
Sound. This time around, we only have 2 sounds, so I'm going to play these for you. Crank it up here. We're going to see if we can make this work. This movie had a lot of music in it, and it had a lot of just weird noises, so I was trying to pick ones that I thought might be, gettable, and this is what I came up with. So here's sound number 1. I don't want to, blow everyone's ears out, but here, let's try this. Okay, there was the first sound. I'll play it again real quick here. All right, what do you think?
That's when Eugene got punched in the face at the bar.
Actually, Eugene ducked the punch, but yeah, that's the punch.
Yeah.
He ducks the punch and he hits the guy behind him, and it causes the bar.
Yeah. I watched the whole movie. It's just I was doing other stuff at the same time.
I get it. Yeah.
I thought that's what happened, but yeah, that's the punch from the bar. Yeah.
Yep. That's that's what started the bar brawl. All right, so that was number 1, and here is the second sound, last sound here. Okay. Need it again?
Yeah, one more time.
All right.
That's when the Vag drops his guitar in defeat.
Yeah, yep.
I love how you called him the Vag.
Yeah, this old Stevie Vag quits the battle, drops his guitar.
When his fingers got stupid.
Yeah. All right. Because
fingers don't work.
We haven't played any of the guitar battle yet. We only have 3 minutes to go before this thing takes.
Do you wanna come back and do another?
I mean, all that we'd have to come back for is plugs. So we'll get. Hold on a second. Let me just play this clip real quick, and then we'll see where we're at from there. This clip is actually longer than what we have time for. I'm just going to skip through some parts, though. I just want to give a taste of this music. So this is him here. He's trying to make the train talk. He's finally getting the hang of this. Remember earlier in the movie, he was like,
"Yeah,
if you can't make the train talk, you can't play the blues, whatever."
I thought that was cool.
Yeah. But I love this. It's great. All right, and then we move on to some of this. Just the little riff back and forth. And then it's funny because Steve Vai was playing both halves of this. It's
right.
Against himself.
I couldn't really tell if Eugene's was actually better until
right
the very end.
I was gonna say Steve Vai gets my points because he was able to almost match him without having this kid studied this music, right? And that's how he knew how to play this. Stephen Vai just picks up a guitar and he's like, "All right, I got this. It's close enough." He wins as far as I'm concerned. But and then we get the Jesus chord at the end when everything's all "Oh," and the angels sing at the end, and it's just not possible. Hold on, this is cool. It's like Back to the Future when he starts kicking over the amps and everything. Like, calm down, Johnny, be good. All right, there's some of that. Let me get this. If you want to see a bunch of like shitty guitarists, I think we're gonna have to come back after this.
We should. This is amazing.
Yeah, just let this roll for a minute. Yeah. But yeah, there's like 1,000 shitty guitarists that try to play this on YouTube. If you go look it up.
Oh, the fucking Crossroads.
If you look up Crossroads guitar, Crossroads Ralph Macchio. Right here. We get to. And just with him doing this, like, you win, bro. If you can get this far into a song you've never played.
Yeah, but I mean, it's about like doing better though, and he's stumbling.
Yeah, he couldn't quite get that last Jesus chord when the angels sang there.
Well, he sold his soul to the devil. So
that's right.
Fuck him.
Aw.
Aw.
Sweet. This is like me every time I play the guitar now. Wait for it. Yeah.
I can only make these gargoyle noises.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we have less than a minute left. You want to try to throw?
Jamie, I need you to keep the dogs quiet. I'm recording a commercial for the Elemental podcast. So can you keep them quiet during this recording of my commercial for the Elemental podcast? I mean, I know the dogs bark a whole lot when we actually record the podcast on Mondays and Thursdays and during the Patreon on Saturdays. But during the commercial, we need the recording to be dog bark free. Can you do that for me, Jamie? Can you keep the dogs quiet during the recording of this commercial for the Elemental podcast that people can listen to every Monday and Thursday and the Patreon on Saturday? Can you do that for me, Jamie? Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Okay, we're back. So clearly we weren't able to fit this all into the 2 meetings. So.
I'm so glad we didn't, though, because this is so much fun.
Yeah, now we can relax a little bit and not try to rush through everything. Leave it.
Yeah, except for I have 11% battery on my phone.
Leave it to our episode with Bob to run over 3 meetings. I think this is.
I mean, if I get off of the thing, it's not a big deal. You guys can finish this.
No, I gotta get out of here.
Like, I'll get off. You guys can finish later.
Yeah, exactly.
Nickel, right?
I know, right?
Also, during the little break where we had to wait for that second meeting to render, look what I found.
Oh,
yes,
he's got his harp.
Yeah, I found a shitty old harmonica. This is not one of my.
It's called a
later
fucking
purchases.
harp.
Yes, that's true. I'm a blues man. This is a shitty.
Blues man,
it's a plastic reed Chicago blues harmonica. So for what it's
There's
worth.
your problem, Chicago.
Yeah, I know it's true. All right.
All right.
Well, yeah, this is what we get. Here we go.
New game.
All right, go do it.
Bluesman or chicken ass? Here we
go. Listen to the master.
Every episode, I'll have someone come on and we can decide if they're a blues man or chicken ass each time. So. Whatever. Okay, so there's that.
Oh my God, I love this. I wish that we could do this. I know. Like, I wish we could do this every single episode. That is so amazing. I love it so much.
The verdict is in chicken ass, right?
That was Blues Man.
Okay.
It sounded like literally like it came off of the
soundtrack for this movie.
It's like literally, it's like, yeah, all right, now we'll let Matt play.
Yeah, anyone who's just listening is like, all right, when's he gonna start? Yeah.
So why don't you do your own stunts to like make your own theme songs? Like,
I don't know. I just want other people to participate.
Hold on. We should just live try and make it like the Chop This synopsis, like Chop This.
Okay, I have a suggestion. We should do
Right.
We should do plugs, and then that's how you should send us off in this.
I'll just do this lightly in the background while Bob.
Yeah,
does
do it lightly in the
plugs.
background while I plug my new album. Yeah.
Go, Bob.
Are we doing plugs already?
You got to do something. Yeah.
All right. So I have regular shows on at Shakespeare's Lower Level. Not right now, but in the fall and July, we're supposed to have Dave Stone, and we had Pauly Shore booked, and Stephen Lynch and Joe List for some time between now and forevermore. But
okay. Are those all working on reschedules? Is that the plan?
Those are all
forward?
technically scheduled between like July and December, are some of the names that we have lined up, but I don't know when it's going to return to normal, or if we're going to have to do less tickets and maybe charge a premium at that point.
Like spread people out to table.
Yeah.
Or make people purchase the entire
the thing is though, I would if I really wanted to go see a live show and not be breathed on, it would be worth paying $40 to see Stephen Lynch or Pauly Shore or Joe List to me. So I mean, we might have to reassess the economics of that basically, but that's what we have lined
right
up.
now. There's going to be a lot of people who are willing to pay that premium just to go
absolutely
entertainment of any kind. So not that you're taking advantage of the situation, but that it stops people from overrunning things and making things worse,
Well, that, and it's it kind of meets in the middle, because if we have to half our capacity, then at the same time we got to make the person the same amount of money. So it's we got to charge more for a ticket, and also it's those are the tickets that we can sell for that much is what it comes down to. So we still try and make it as affordable as possible, but
I just saw David Steves. They're opening up an open mic at JB Whiskey's in July or something. They're going to try it and see what happens.
June 2nd, I think is what he messaged me about it.
Yeah, so they're trying to start things up again.
I might do that show. I don't know. So he asked me if I wanted to. So I haven't decided yet, but I might be there. But I mean, aside from that, I've just got my podcast, You're Welcome, Future Self. We've been at least monthly right now. I completely abandoned doing my weigh-in episodes or anything, because I've been trying to lose 100 pounds. I'm back on track right now, but I gained back literally 15 or 20 pounds when the show.
Yeah, I just listened to your most recent episode. So
no judgment here. If anything, people should listen to it because you're real.
Yeah, and I mean
follow through the struggles, and
you get mine and Adam's arguments about shit too, which was fun.
Yeah, I find Adam's got a really unique voice in all this too. It's definitely it's not. I don't necessarily agree with him about everything, but if I'm going to disagree with someone, I want to disagree with someone like Adam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, my phone just went to 5%
So we jumped.
If for some reason
we sucked the life out of her phone.
I had to make it brighter because it went dim. And my phone is not great. So if I bow out, it was so awesome having you back, Bob. Thank you so much.
Did you turn your shirt inside out between the last break?
No. Okay. First, I'm gonna plug the last thing that I gotta plug is that I'm using this time. Everyone has extra time. I don't have extra time. I'm busier than normal right now. Basically, I'm working on editing my album finally.
Okay.
And I had some kind of name. I think I think I was gonna call it The Shots You Don't Tank, because I always say Wayne Gretzky, you always miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Sure.
But now I think I'm just gonna call it The Before Times, because it's fucking
right.
But I'm working on editing that, so I should be releasing an album sometime around when things are supposed to be getting back to normal. So that's what I'm working on. So I'll probably be releasing that soon. So you can always follow that on I'm going to call it No Glitter on Christmas is what I need to call it, because that's my website.
Yeah, you might as well link it in.
NoGlitterOnChristmas.com. So it's still going to be that or the Before Time. So that's what I'm working on. I'm glad to be talking to you guys again. I always love coming.
Oh my God.
For sure, man.
This has been amazing. I love you, Bob. I am so glad that we got to do this with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Mandy, do you have anything you want people to look at or do stuff, or is there anything you're enjoying in life right now that might help people? Like
I'm
just
really
a show you're watching? Or anything?
I really like Life Below Zero right now on Disney Channel, Nat Geo, mostly because they're like in quarantine all the time.
Yeah.
And it's fucking cold. So, did we lose Bob?
Did Bob leave voluntarily, or did he just whatever? There's Bob's plugs.
I think we lost Bob. I don't think it was on purpose. I anticipated that it would be me.
Right. It's just going to be me by myself playing harmonica sad.
I think so.
In a walk-in closet.
But
right,
what about you?
Here's Adam Deggy, AdamDeggy.com. Join the Deggy draft for next year's draft. Also, House Sadness is a podcast that I listen to and enjoy. So go listen to those guys. And then the guy who, one of the co-hosts for House Sadness, Jacob Kuban, was on our podcast a couple of times. And what's happening?
Bob, he said, I literally just replugged in my computer and it died.
Oh, no. All right. Well, whatever. And then he has a clothing line called Moist Clothing and Junk. So go check that out and buy some clothes from Jacob. It's greatest of all time. Otherwise, you can reach out to the show at anotherepisodepodcast@gmail.com to tell us what we did wrong. Let us know if you is a blues man or not. And then tell us suggestions for other movies you want us to do and cover. I hope you guys like this. I know it's a movie that not a lot of people have seen, but maybe go out and find it and watch it. I would recommend of all the movies Yeah, of all the movies we've done that I was like, people probably don't need to really go out and watch this, I would recommend this one. It's kind of a fun watch. So go do that. But we always play a clip at the end to get rid of this nonsense. We already pushed Bob out the door, but our last clip is going to be this one right here.
Greenville's famous for pussy.
It's true. Get your asses out to Greenville. Okay. Thank you guys so much. And thanks, Bob.
Thank
even though he'll listen to this.
Yeah. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.